In the early 17th century, Europeans began actively colonizing new territories located in Africa. It was during this time that colonizers encountered an unusual African tribe. Their colloquial speech amazed the Dutch. It reminded them of neither the chirping of exotic African birds, nor the speech of a stuttering person. Hottentot, Hottentot, exclaimed the Europeans, pointing at the natives. They did not resemble the Negroid race, with which the Dutch were very familiar before meeting the Hottentots. Their skin color was more yellow, resembling the color of a yellowing birch leaf in autumn. Their facial features also differed from those of other indigenous inhabitants of Central and Southern Africa. Slightly narrow eyes, a flattened nose, prominent cheekbones, and a pointed chin. Such faces were more likely to be encountered somewhere in Mongolia than in Africa. When anthropologists carefully studied the Dutch discovery, some suggested considering the Hottentots as representatives of a separate race, the Khoikhoi race. There is a hypothesis that this people actually inhabited the south of European territory many years ago, more precisely, the south of France, from the Mediterranean coast to Brittany and Switzerland. Hottentot women resembled two women depicted in an engraving found by archaeologists, made in the early 1st millennium BC. And these women, depicted in the engraving, and the Hottentot women had very unusually large, one might say excessive, fat deposits on their thighs. Civilized Europeans initially thought that when they encountered such an unusual tribe, they did not belong to Homo sapiens at all. Like some kind of apes, which had only recently descended from trees and could not speak properly. They could only chirp. Strange anatomy and physiology of the Hottentots largely contributed to these speculations. The structure of Hottentot women especially astonished Europeans. Their posterior did not correspond in size to their small stature. Extremely voluptuous thighs and buttocks of the female half of this people looked extraordinary. The Dutch rudely took away several women from the tribe and brought them to Europe. There they began to showcase them to the public, who were greatly fascinated by the buttocks of the natives. Gentlemen and aristocrats flocked to such presentations. By the way, it is now proven that the unusually large posterior in women serves as a last resort for breastfeeding infants. This can be compared to a camel's hump. Fat deposits vary depending on the season. It is sad that this people is currently facing a threatening extinction. Its representatives are mixing with other tribes. They are losing their uniqueness and language, which so interested Europeans in the distant past.